here's me trying to paint light. Let's see what happens. I'm going to do one of my watercolor flow, which is what I used to call it, but now I'm going to call it waterflow. No, actually, I won't, because I'm going to use, well, I am going to use salt water though. So yes, I'm going to try it because I love doing watercolor flow the most. It is so fun. Okay, so what do I do first? Where's my water? What did I do with it? There we go. So this is my, it's not super hot anymore, but it's my watercolor, sorry, my pink Himalaya salt drying in, not drying, sorry, dissolving in water, warm water now. So when I do these paintings, I start with, I'm going to use red violet. I think I have one. No, I'm going to use regular red because I don't want to make exactly the same thing. So I'm actually going to use some brown. I'm going to try and make, no, I am not, because if I do that, I'll never make it work. So I'm going to use mostly concentrated watercolors, I guess. So yes, I will use some purple because purple is the bomb. I'm going to try and go a little bit lighter with my colors this time. Purple's going to be a strong one. I'm going to use some FW Rowney. I'm going to, as I said, I'm going to try and go a little bit lighter, not include so much color, see what happens. You don't have to do this way. I just like to play. And you can mix the colors too if you want. Like you can add, I'm gonna add some blue. I'll just, like, that's what where I learned it from was this Kendra Brazel. And she used a mix of everything, and she puts maybe less than me. I'm not really sure, but this will do. Oh, and I'm going to use some of my buff titanium that I made up because why not, right? Where is it though? Should be here. No, it's in the watercolor one. Is buff titanium? White high flow. Where are you, you little bugger? There you are. Okay, I prefer buff titanium, which is, this is what is it called? Sorry, liquid acrylic in the white high flow, or whatever it's called, from Basics. I think it's what it is, Golden Basics. Anyway, I use this, and then I think I put a tiny bit of brown in, but basically there's a buff titanium that comes in watercolor that I really like, but watercolor is way more expensive to use. Oops, oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to put some drops. And the reason, sorry, I didn't finish my thought about buff titanium versus white. I just find white makes everything so cloudy without imparting color. And since I am a color girl, I want color in my interactions. I like to see what new colors come. So as you can see, I'm probably putting way too much buff titanium, but we'll see. Oh, and some got in there. Okay, so I'm just gonna close that off. I actually put pins in mine, in the acrylic ones, because I find that the nozzles get stuck. Okay, so this is different. You don't start out with a colored a wet background, but you start out like this. You need to get this really wet because in first draws, this tends to push away water. The paper tends to push away the water. So I have to use quite a bit up here, but you don't want to touch it quite yet. Just try and get it nicely. I don't know if you can see the shadow, and I can't move this, but not the shadow, but the shimmer. So, and I apologize, but this is not big enough for the whole thing. So hopefully you can see some of this, but basically I'm just running it along the bottom as well, because it's a separate piece, but you still need to get it wet. Okay, and then when you're ready, then you go and wet the brush and just throw it in and see how it goes. Ooh, look at that. And then you clean it off regularly when it starts to get dirty, or because if you mix the colors, it could get really ugly. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, really ugly, as in muddy. Not ugly, but anyway, so look at that. Oh, I am trying to do this lighter. Maybe not as intense as I normally do, which for me is a great challenge. I really love intensity. And I usually fill in all these colored holes, but this time I'm not going to, or we'll see how it looks. I wait to see how it looks, with it or without it. Oops, let's do this here. I did not. Oh, I'm gonna use just plain water to do this. It's not my best one, but that's okay. So yeah, so if you run it across the top, it'll suck all the color up. I'm not sure why that happens, but it does. So there. I am gonna fill these in more or less, because I like to. I don't always, but I'm trying to leave them more, but I can only do it so much. Now I'm just gonna use this to see if I can get any more spread. And break, like this really breaks up acrylic paint, the salt. So it's pretty, eh? I like it. Oops, shoot, wasn't supposed to dip it in there. Okay, so that is pretty much it. Now normally I would use probably more water, and I end up having to take the color, the excess water off, but I don't see a huge amount of water compared to what I usually do, and that could be because I'm doing it in light, trying to keep it lighter, but we'll see. It will dry eventually. You really don't have to suck it up, but if you don't, you sometimes get these really strong marks of pools of dark color, and it's not my favorite thing. So I feel like it needs a bit of contrast. So what I think I might do, I feel like having an earthy color in there. I think I might have some sienna. I do. Okay, so this is my mixed up colors that I make myself. Liquid colors. They're not nearly as intense as the ones that are from P.H. Martin's, but I like them well enough. Yeah, this is good. I don't know if that is as good as I think, but I kind of like it. Ooh, look what it's doing with the gold, there. Anyway, I just wanted to add a different color in there. Not sure if I made a good choice, but I'm committed now. So maybe I will end up. So I'll just show you in case you haven't seen me do it. Oh, look at that interaction. That is really cool. I hope you can see that. Jack. Yeah, you can. Okay. So see how it all broke up here? That's really cool. And I actually really like this color. It's giving it a bit of, I'm going to put a little bit more over here because I'm one of those. Anyway, that's just me. Okay, so there. I like what it's doing. See, unless you try those things, it's just paper, right? And it doesn't really matter because I think everything is a learning experience. Yeah, I like that. Different than what I usually do, that's for sure. There, I'm gonna just take the excess up off. So this will often, like, if it's got too much water, it could come right off the paper, but I don't think I have as much water as I often or sometimes do. But once you start doing this, it will gravitate to the edge, just to warn you. If you, oh yeah, see how that did that? Anyway, it's okay. I'll just leave it. When in doubt, leave it. But I know how hard that actually is to do. Okay, so that's kind of pretty. It's very different. I like that it's a bit lighter than what I normally do. And I don't think I'll add any gold in this time. But I might add it. I do reserve the right to add something more in because that's me. Anyway, so that is my first, that is the water flow method that I do. And sometimes it really, depending on what I use, the paints, it flows, like fills it up so quickly. This didn't have maybe as much acrylic as usually, which is what all those, a good portion of those marks are. That's what I love. I think I might add a little, here I go. See, this is Kathy. I'm just going a little crazy. This is the moon phase here. There. Just needed something. There. So, there. That'll do. I'm just going to leave it now. Maybe. We'll see. You'll be interested to see what the final result is, I'm sure, because it's probably going to look quite different than this. It's really hard to stop once you get going, but I have stopped. Okay, so there we go. Just leave it and turn this off. Thanks for watching.